Good morning, traders, to you. Let's get this show started. Let's take a look at what PCE will do for us today. Of course, that's what's going to be on the radar. We need to see what happens here with PCE inflation data, of course. Let's take a look at what's going on right now as the numbers come in. We just got initial jobless claims, GDP coming in at 2.8 versus a 2.8 estimate. Prior being 3.0, so a little bit of a dip there from the prior reading, but the estimate right on cue there. We'll see what happens with the SPY. Well, how will the SPY react on this? We're already getting a lift in the pre-market here, so I'm taking a look at different retail stocks as this starts to lift. I don't want to miss the retail move. So ANF already getting a little bit of a lift off, almost to 150, and you guys know I was trading that yesterday in the 147. Was thinking about buying it in the pre-market, but it was a little bit tough to buy in the pre-market there. The big thing is the spread with this one, right? So I'm watching this one. I'm watching Best Buy. I'm watching a lot of retail names. You guys know I'm all over that Black Friday trade. Amazon taking off now towards 208.75. This has been a beautiful Black Friday trade already, 4% higher. Shop is another one that could continue today. Got up to 114 yesterday. It's at 112. Could start to push on this news. Let's see what happens here. SPY up there. And taking a look, jobless claims came in at 213 versus the 215 estimate. So still jobless claims pretty weak. So this looks good for the market, and we're getting that upside in the SPY. Let's see the Qs. The Q overall now getting to 508.78. Could break that 509 here as we continue going to the upside. And what do you see? You're seeing Apple down though this morning, and I don't know why Apple's down. I need to take a look to see if there's something news related just a second ago, but definitely seeing that down action this morning in Apple. We'll look to see if we get some kind of rebound. Nvidia's down also. Dell took a big hit overnight. We'll talk a little bit about that earnings report, but not looking good in that one. We'll see if SMCI has a little bit of a better day than Dell. And we'll talk a little bit about some smaller names, looking around at the action out there. And of course, you guys know we have that Black Friday deal going on right now. So keeping a watch on the action and watching, of course, the Bitcoin names and seeing how those names will move today. Also watching the quantum names, right? So that was one that was moving this morning. QMCO got a lift to 25. We'll look to see if it can continue pushing. And there were some other smaller names that were moving this morning. TRNR, bunch of different names out there that we can talk about. And of course, I still got the limited accounts to really get after today. And of course, our brand new, of course, account that you see right here at the top on the bar, right? The super buying power one that I'm at pretty much 911. So that's not bad at all. I mean, we're close to like about 30%, 25% of the account already captured. Let's keep battling. Let's try to get some more profits today, of course, and take a look to see what's going on out there. Core PCE came in at 2.1 versus a 2.2 estimate. So core PCE actually coming below that outlook. So PCE looking good. I don't see the other PCE readings here just yet from Benzinga Pro. So let me refresh. I mean, it should have already got it in there, but sometimes Benzinga can be a little slower, at least with these news data, these news prints. Sometimes they're a little bit slower on them. Let me take a look to see if I can get it off around out there. Still not getting the rest of the reading there. So I'm trying to get the rest of the reading, not just the core PCE, but the overall action there, just PCE. And then we'll see what happens there. But overall, 2.1 versus a 2.2 estimate on the core PCE tells me that everything looks good for the upside action move. Now we just need to see if we can continue pushing. You can see we had a first push. Now we're actually coming down on this. So let's see what happens here. I'm not jumping the gun on any position just yet. I don't have any position on here, and you guys can see it, even also on the smaller account. No positions on. Why? Because I just feel like it's going to be a tough read today, especially out the open. And I'm waiting to see some of the action, right? That's what you got to do sometimes. SPY first action up there towards the 601, now pulling back to that 650. We'll look to see if we get some re-push here to the upside. Of course, keep your eyes on names that are hot this morning. Tesla not looking too bad. Got a quick spike to 341. That's one that I'm watching today as an indicator for some strength. If Tesla could go towards like 350, this will be looking really good. And so that's 10 points higher on Tesla, which I feel it can make a run to. So I'm watching that, and I'm watching Mobileye, as this is one that we've been watching since this move, right? Since, of course, Tuesday. And that's just been developing. Now it's a week later and just continues to push. It did get up there to the top Bollinger Band and could close in that gap. That gap's to close towards $20. So we're at 18. I feel like that's in play. We'll see what happens there in Mobileye to see if this can keep going. And we'll see what happens in, of course, the crypto names. CleanSpark right now was coming down a little bit in the pre-market and kind of just going sideways here. Bitcoin could run today, I think. And that's one thing that I'm back and forth on, guys. I will say that. I've been kind of going back and forth on it because it feels like there's days where it feels like it could drop a little bit, and it had 2 days of dropping. Maybe we get a quick scare out the gates and then a quick ramp up as we get towards Thanksgiving. I know that it wants to be the talk of Thanksgiving. So I know it was in 2020. It could be very much the talk of Thanksgiving this year. So keep your eyes on it. If it hits 100,000 right before Thanksgiving, trust me, everyone's going to be talking Bitcoin. So that's what gets me leaning. Instead of, like I traded yesterday, SMST, which was a bearish move on MSTR, you could trade the opposite on MSTR. So now you'd want to be trading the opposite, the kind of the long one, right? So there's another one here. There's MSTU. Right? You could take a look at that one. There's plenty of the ones here, but this one's not looking too bad. This is the long one, and this is T-Rex's. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this could be a play today, right? You can see it already getting a little bit of a lift this pre-market. And from that number, look how much it's gotten the lift already. So I think this is one to definitely take a look at. SMST could just be a short, and you could just short that thing, and you could short it right back down to yesterday's prices. So yesterday you could see it was up there towards around 609 on the low. It could break that 609 today and go back to like 5 maybe, but you could also just long MSTR. So I'm keeping an eye on this. This is not a bad trade here as MSTR starts to bounce back and could get easily to 4 today, which is what, 20 points higher. So ETHU also on the radar, already going to 931s. Of course, I know I've been calling this since that Tuesday also. And looking at this, Ethereum is getting hot, guys. And I want to keep an eye on Ethereum. I think it's also prudent to maybe think about looking into the crypto itself, right? And so I think that this looks great here from Ethereum and different names in the market. But like always, smash the like, guys. We got a lot to talk about here. Did they still not get that up there? I'm trying to get the number there, but I'm not seeing anything other than the core PCE price. So let me just go ahead and look somewhere else because it should have already came in there. So let me give a little refresh here and maybe go to Reuters, figure this out right quick. All right, looking for a little bit of an update there. Bitcoin, of course, shows more bets on the retreat after failing to breach 100,000. That's a big radar to watch. U.S. housing affordability to worsen even as price rises slow. So that's something to think about in housing situation. Definitely back and forth on that. Taking a look here on the calendar to see if there's anything else that was put in there. All right, trying to grab the PCE there, and it's not even on there. I don't understand. Well, guys, it's not my fault. I can't make Benzinga Pro put the right number up there. I don't know. I only see the core PCE, which is not bad. It's not a bad number, right? But you usually get the regular PCE, which is this month-over-month outlook, and I still have yet to see that show up on the tape. But that's Benzinga. I can't do it for them. I'll just keep moving. All right, guys. Let's take a look around out there. The SPY itself continuing to move back, and now it's running right back. So you saw that push to 601, the pullback right back, and now you're starting to get the lift. Now we can start taking a look to see if the stocks that were strong yesterday can start to lead. Meta already getting a nice little lead, and this was really strong yesterday. So starting a nice little daily recovery on the 90 MA, you could see a pullback to that level today. But I think you're starting to get a recovery of this level here around the 577. So look to see if you can take out the 577.50 of yesterday. Will be a big watch today. And you're not far from it. Look at the hourly already propping up here and looking pretty good. Meta starting to get the move there. I'd like the 574s on pullbacks, but we'll see if we even get an opportunity for that 574. Spotify is not a bad one to think about. I think a lot of times during the holidays, we start trying to listen to a little bit more music because we travel and things like that. And Spotify is continuing to push. So not a bad one to think about, just in a different mindset, right? Looking at the SPY, looking at a clean spark to see if this can get a little bit of some spark action today to the upside. It got a little push there to the 1360s. It's not a bad one to watch. The Riot, all those Mara, they're definitely going to be on the radar today. Keep your eyes also on XRT to see if that starts to take a lead there. And I'll be watching to see if there's any names there that stand out to me, right? Urban had some earnings that we'll talk about, and man, that's up a significant amount. We were talking about this for potential kind of retail trade and Black Friday trade, Urban with ANF and AEO, and look at the move in Urban. That's going to help ANF, guys. I think this is really something that could really recover today. Right back up there towards, you never know, 160 today. So I think at this point, I need to try to find a way in on Abercrombie. It's going to be closer probably towards the open because I'm just running and running late to the trade now. Maybe the pullback recently to 149, and I can start to get in at the 150 and use that 149 as the support. But this is one trade I definitely don't want to miss out on. AEO is another one that could start to move right back up there. So I'm going to keep watch on this. Gap is another one to keep an eye out. It recently just had earnings, was up there to 25, back down to 24, could hold that support today and then recover back towards the 25 and 26. So not bad ones to watch there as we're seeing the strength. Nike also on the radar today. Big watch on Nike as this stock went pulling back yesterday after a really nice Monday action. And I want this to get back there towards Monday pricing by the end of the day today, but looks really good as it starts to prop here above the 70, 77, 75, 78 spot, and then could make a run there back towards like 78.50s and start working to 79 today. I like Nike. I like this chart. I like the daily look. I'm also watching Wayfair today. That's one that's definitely going to be on the radar as, of course, these are also what? Black Friday trades. That's what they are, man. They're just to try to play it into the momentum and try to ride the event. Of course, a lot of people will be waiting for this as they get the results on Friday, right? You'll get some results on Friday. You'll get some results on Monday. But by then, the stock could be way higher, and people think it's now time to trade it when it's already been the trade already done. So I'd watch this one. I think it looks really interesting. This morning, trading around 46, could easily take 47 and be right back towards 50. So that's where I could see Wayfair going, maybe towards 50, and then just getting rid of it as it starts to pop above towards that 50. It's nothing that I want to hold long term. It's more just to cash and get the heck out. All right, guys, what's going on out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you guys. Only 14 of you guys. Come on, man. Hit the like, hit the share button. We need some more traders in here. Man, I got to get some more traders up in here. Hit the like, guys. Let's go. Let's go. All right, traders. If you guys got a trade you guys are looking for, let me know in the chat. Let's keep it going. GDP coming in today. A little bit of an undercut, but right in line with the estimate. So things not looking bad there. Let's keep things going. It's Trade the Pool, guys. We got a lot to talk about today and ready to get trading here. Let's see what else we can do here. All right. There's the action there. Oh, they finally put it in there? No, they couldn't.
Oh,
Oh, I love this one, guys. So you want to know how bad CNBC is sometimes, guys? Look at this, guys. So this morning, CNBC is saying that the PCE number is set to release at 10 a.m. Eastern. Where did you guys get that? It releases at 8:30. So definitely interesting action there as CNBC might have some errors in their top article today, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not here to fix them. We'll see what else is out there, right? Generative AI hype has yet to lead to a must-have gadget for the holiday season. I agree with that. I don't think there's a must-have gadget for this holiday season. I am watching Meta to see if it gets the lift and it continues to get the lift off of that Quest push. But recovery of 574 today, really good level. Could go in here at 575 and risk off the 574, looking to see if we can take off to the high, which would be 577. And next thing you know, we're like kind of $2 or $3 higher and starting to make a move to 580s. Looks in play. You know, I can see this start to run there right back towards the highs and looking to see if it gets back up there. That's closer towards 588. But definitely not a bad one to watch there. Apple, of course, we'll look to see if it recovers the pullback from this morning. It keeps dropping in the pre-market here. So I think that's one to watch at the gates. NVIDIA is doing the same. So NVIDIA just continues to come down after hitting the new all-time high and now has just tumbled back down to 135. The big concern is for me to see NVIDIA just keep dropping, goes to like 125 today. And yeah, things will start looking really bad in the semiconductor space if NVIDIA just continues to tumble. So watch out today that you get some pullback in those names. So that's why I'm more retail than essentially technology based, because I feel like today could be one of those days where tech could be down and retail could still be up. A lot of analyst action out there. NVIDIA, Dell, Disney being mentioned out there. So let's take a look at Disney right now. Let's see if it can recover 116. I think this is starting to get a little bit long in the tooth. And I think that this will look like it's starting to turn around, right? And I think that we can maybe have one more push in Disney, but I think you're starting to see a little bit too much, right? So, of course, we started looking at Disney when it was just starting to recover here and starting to turn back to the upside, especially for this 100 break. And you got it. It went all the way to 115. Now, I think it could get back right back towards 110 and 108s. All right, we'll see what happens out there. What's going on this morning? It's good to see you guys. What's up? What's up? All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else is out there. And if you guys see a trade out there or something you guys want to talk about, throw it up, guys. We got a lot to talk about here. All right, let's go to some of the Sunrise report this morning. Let's talk about what's going on out there. Of course, PCE data, we already talked about that. Let's go to Dell, as Dell Technologies was stumbling, and it was a stumble after, of course, AI strength led it up here to the 148s. Revenues came in light at $24.4 billion versus the $24.67 billion expected. The EPS expectations $2.15 versus $2.06. So not looking good there. AI remains a silver lining, with Dell reporting $2.9 billion in AI server sales this quarter and a $4.5 billion AI pipeline. However, delays tied to NVIDIA's Blackwell chips have pushed some of the demand into future quarters. Despite the recent drop, Dell is up 86% in 2024, positioning itself as a leader in AI infrastructure. Can AI momentum continue forward? We'll see, guys. I think this is a telling tale that Dell is getting hit hard today. So keep your eyes on that. That could turn around this trade, and it could even turn around SMCI. SMCI could go red today, even with Dell the way it is right now. And I think that that's something to tell in the computer systems. It also could be affecting technology overall. We'll see if tech wants to get a rally into the turkey day, of course. And who's ready for some turkey? I don't know about you guys. I could use some good turkey. Can't go wrong. All right, guys, let's take a look around. Let's take a look at maybe some of these smaller names to see if anything else is popping up on the scanner right now. I'm going to go to the scanner and see if there's anything showing up here. IDAI, this is one I saw earlier at around, I think, like 60 cents, right? 50 cents, 60 cents. It's now at 76, so it's done a hell of a move here. When you think about it, that's a really nice move there. I was watching it early on, maybe like around 7 a.m., looking at it go towards like 58 cents. I just didn't see as much volume needed to get it up here, but it found it. It found it when it went through the 60 cents here, and it got a lot of volume, almost 2 million shares traded there. So this one could make it to $1. We'll see. I mean, that's a great move. You're talking 100% if it can make it to that dollar. Doesn't look too bad. UMAC here giving another alert. This thing went absolute bananas in the morning. This thing traded on what? Traded on only about, oh, well, I mean, there's 181,000 shares. So it was an absolute monster. UMAC went all the way up there towards almost 10. It went to 962. Now trading at 671s. Pulled back to 6. So pretty much retraced the whole thing and now kind of trading sideways. This is not what you want to see technically wise. That full retracement tells you maybe don't watch that trend to see if it comes back. But I think it's definitely an interesting stock to look at today. Is it UMAC? QMCO, of course, that's your quantum computing play. These are been moving this morning. And I was wondering if it would make one more move there towards the 25. And there you have it. It's making it right now. It was up there this morning. It did this spike here. It went towards like 23.89. Then it spiked here towards 25.60. I was wondering if it'd give one more spike into that area, the 25. And there it is, already doing it. And on the hourly basis, it's still holding on. Got to be careful for a little bit of a whipsaw back down below the 20. But Quantum Corp doing really well here. QUBT, it had been trying to get back there through the 7 towards 8. This morning, got a little spike just recently, tried to get to 740s and pulled back, right back to 712s. An important one to watch. I think if QUBT starts to give up, you could see some other ones start to give up. IonQ made a move yesterday that at least hung in there, but it's definitely looking still toppy. It continues to push off the 9 EMA. It's pushed 1, 2, 3, could hit it another time today. That's back down to 29.43s. So I just want to keep that in mind. All right, guys, let's keep it going. What's up out there? How you doing? QUBT retesting that high. Yes, something definitely to watch. SMCI falling in tandem with NVIDIA. Yeah, not one that I want to be looking at too much. It doesn't look that great. We'll see what happens. Everything seemed a bit slow today in general, and that's normal. So Weird Life Solutions, it's normal for, of course, during Thanksgiving or holiday. What happens? Well, what happens is the big money managers take off. They just say, you know what? I'm taking this whole week off. I don't need to trade this week. I'm just going to go be with the family. Let's put in the vacation days right now, and then we'll come back on Monday and see what happens, right? Because these money managers, they don't even need to be in the office. They just go to the office to be around, like-minded individuals. But I think that's what you're seeing. So you might see lower volume today, but wicked moves. So what do I mean by that? You're going to see fast moves. When there's lower volume, sometimes it can actually create these quick pops and drops. So be careful out there with pops and drops, especially on a day like today. So what do I look for? I try not to get too excited on chasing on a day like today. That's easily how you can get wrecked today. I need to see those pullbacks, try to catch those pullbacks on anything. It really starts to get the run. How we doing out there? It's good to see you guys, and even on Facebook. So smash the like. Let's give some love. We'll take a look around out there, and we'll see if there's any other stocks that are making a move. IonQ already trying to make a move here in the pre-market. You guys can see it propping at that 31.10. Let's go back to the SPY. The SPY now almost back to 601. So starting to see a little bit of a lift here. VICG getting a little bit of a lift there, guys. This one that just popped a little while ago was a defense stock. Went through the $2, went all the way to 3s. Now been holding in here. We'll look to see if it makes another move here. But definitely these smaller plays starting to get a little hot here. Let's take a look at some other ones here. Charge Point getting a little bit of a lift there. We'll see what happens with those. Keeping an eye out on different names out there to see how they continue to move. But definitely, there's some stocks to watch out there, guys. It's 8:55. We got to keep it going here. We'll take a look at around in the market. If you guys got a name you guys want to talk about, throw it up there, guys. I'm looking around PLL. I'm looking into different names to see how they're going. VCIG, you can see that one popped and came right back down. Of course, has the volume right now. Can it get back through 3 is something to watch at. 250s would like it to hold that on the pullback. It's coming right back down right now. Has had a couple of times to try to break above the VWAP there. So just be careful out there. That was a pretty hard rejection into the 282s spot. So VCIG, will it recover back through 275? All right, looking around out there, seeing what else is making a move this morning. Clean Spark, how are those names? How are the crypto names this morning? How's the XRT, ANF? I'm keeping a close eye on 151. That's doing really well there. Trying to zoom out of some of these charts on the right-hand side, guys. Just trying to get ready for the action today. And, of course, Shop has been one of my best trades this week. We'll see if we're able to make another trade in Shop today. But definitely a bunch of these stocks going to be something to watch for today. We'll see it, guys. We'll see it. I think it's important to try to stay on a little bit of some deeper time frames today on a day where you could get a lot of traps. All right, traders, a name I really like today is Lulu. So I'm watching for Lulu to see if it can lift right back up where it lifted on Monday. And of course, it started to get a lift there going into this. Made a little bit of a push into Monday. That was 328 highs. It's pulled back now, holding the 9 EMA. Could hold down on this body close, which is around the 317.26. So you have that right underneath you right now. I'm pretty much looking for a cut down into that 317 and then a recovery right back towards the open. Something into this area is going to be looking really juicy. Up in here is where I really want to start to trade Lulu because it can recover to the left, the 328s, and start to ride into the 330s. Not a bad one to keep an eye out, especially for a Black Friday trade. All right, we'll see what happens in like a name like Victoria's Secret. That's had a little bit of a pullback, has been sideways. Now could take another move higher. So keep your eyes on these apparel stores. They're not bad names to watch. Ross Stores have been hot as of late. Gap is another one that we talked about. Could start to make the move there. Children's Place not looking too bad as it starts to recover a little bit. I'll tell you one thing, though. I've been to Children's Place. I ain't buying nothing for my boys there. That place is expensive. ANF, we'll see if it starts to climb back, man. I think this is a really nice setup already kind of propping here on the 15 minutes. And this looks good. This looks good on ANF. I'm just looking for an opening move to see if we can get some kind of dip back down into that spot and then come right back in through this 149.90s, 150 spot is going to be very vital. Out the gates, I'll look to see if it cuts down below that and then recovers on the day. That's what I want to see on ANF. About Boots, Barnes, Holden. The boots. Not a bad one to think about also for a little bit of a Black Friday trade and a little bit of a gap fill type of trade. So, of course, this already had the earnings, probably gap down on that right there. Now looking to see if it can recover right back into 141 and attempt to go back to that Monday high. We got to as high as 146.42. on Boots Barnes on that. So I'd keep an eye out on these. These are all names to kind of watch here, and you just got to watch to see the next break. All right, let's go to the time frames here. Start looking for potentially a break above here or a break below. Those are names that definitely kind of keep a watch on, right? Wayfair is another one that I want to watch today. There's so many of these names that I got to keep a watch on. So I'm just setting alerts above to alert me if things start to really rock and roll. Let's take a look there. What else? XRT. Of course, we'll look to see if this recovers. XRT was down by 82 yesterday. It's starting to come back, though. That's for sure. Urban is definitely one to watch for a continued move. That could show you the strength that can continue in apparel. So I'd be watching to see if Urban could stay hot. All right, guys, we're almost to the bell. It's about 9 a.m. We still got about 30 minutes left here. What's going on out there, guys? How we doing? All right. Can you show how you set alerts to help you guide your focus? Yeah. So Weird Life Sciences is really it all really depends on what service you're using, right? If you're using Trade the Pools alerts, very simply as you can set them up on the chart, and then you can have yourself like, a nice little window here. So I'll show you guys right there, right on Trade the Pool. You guys see this screen right now. Just pulled it over the main screen here, and you guys see all my alerts here on the left-hand side. It's very important, right? And so there's going to be names that sometimes you're like, well, I don't really care about these names anymore. Just delete them, right? And then start some more, right? Start some other ones. I think this is so important to watch, right? It's going to give you some insight when these stocks move. So if you see some names that you don't care about anymore, just make sure you cancel on some of those. And you can set up your chart alert. So you can see here this little orange kind of bell looking thing. I have the alerts so that I can do them right on the chart. So all I do is I click there, set the alert, and just wait to see when it hits and let me know what stocks are trading there. Of course, you can also create a watch list, right? There's so many tools that you can do. And if you need to learn more about the alerts or anything on our platform, right, on Trade the Pool, there's a new playlist that Trade the Pool has for you guys that I would definitely check out. So if you haven't checked it out before, definitely go ahead and do so, guys. I'll give you guys the link to kind of the playlist right now. Just give me a second as I get you guys the playlist here. All right, so this is the playlist that you guys want to go ahead and take a look if you guys want to learn a little bit more. Some of these videos I did, some of the videos others did here, but this playlist right here that you can find on our YouTube will give you a lot of insights on how to use alerts, how to use the charts, how to use the level 2, how to set up a trading workspace, all types of things and videos that you should look at, especially before the competition. Forget we're having a competition that's coming up. And if you haven't gotten that competition started, sign up today. You don't want to miss out, guys. All right, like always, we do have a Black Friday deal. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that throughout the show, but we'll talk a little bit more about it as we keep going and pushing in the account. I'll show you guys the new limited account and how I've been going at that and trying to win, man, trying to win. So let's talk a little bit more about that action here. There you go. All right, here we are, guys. And so right now at 900, guys, this is our brand new limited account, guys. So if you haven't gotten it before, get it now. Get it now. 10% off will be disappearing, of course. Is a Black Friday deal. And you don't want to miss this out, right? So definitely the price is already discounted. This was like $2 when I got it. And getting after it, guys. In about, the first trade was down about $4. Was able to then make $5.80. Yesterday, I went and I was able to make $3-something. I think it was a little bit over $3-something. Let's see, $3.35 exactly on that one. So it's not like I don't have losses, but I'm controlling the losses here. Losses have only been $4. The wins, $5.84, $3.35. So continuing to push it. And you can see it almost about 25% of that. I got a max loss of 2,100, right? Can't lose that much. But 700 in a daily will definitely give me the ability to go through 3 of those max loss days before this eval gets out. And I already got 4 of the 10 trades. So the only 6 trades needed. And I could get up there, guys, in that 6 trades. I mean, essentially, if I make like 300 to 500, right, you're talking another 1,800. We're working our way up there, right? That's what we need to be looking at. And if you talk about it on the high end, at the 500, you're talking another 3,000, and we're above that profit target. So let's get to that profit target. let's stay focused and making sure that we're not oversizing and things like that. But I wanted to show you guys that because that's what it's all about, guys. Learning how we can get after it and earn these funded accounts, right? We'll see what happens in Bitcoin today. I'm keeping a close eye on that as I think that Bitcoin stocks could make a move. But of course, what do you got to keep watch? You got to watch Bitcoin, man, overall. See what happens there. Let me see here what I'm seeing in Bitcoin right now. All right, 94,000 and continuing to climb this morning. So I think we got to start watching CleanSpark for a move already, guys. And so I'm going to be watching CleanSpark. Mara can be another one that I could play here on the break of 26. It's already kind of getting a little bit of a 20-cent pop there. So for me, CleanSpark is more the trade that I like trading, right? Riot is another one that I could look at off this 1050, 1150 area. Doesn't look bad. Hut doesn't look bad either. Hut is holding the 9 EMA right now. Could easily go back to that 2656. It's not a bad looking stock there. You got Cypher. There's so many names here that you can kind of look at in the crypto space. So keep your eyes on some of these guys. Hive, I know, is one that could recover 4 today. There's not bad looking names there. BTCT, right? We talked about this one so many times. It's now back on the daily and has been going sideways. If we could really get a rip and rally in Bitcoin, this one could get hot again. So it's not something that I expect to get hot, but there's nothing wrong with setting an alert and just getting it ready. And you guys see I can set alerts on plenty different platforms. I think it's very important to have alerts set so you don't come back and say, oh, but I missed this one. Well, look at Tesla already propping up this morning. Tesla is a good sign for me that we could get a tech rally. Now we'll see if we actually get it. And that will have to shake the negativity in Apple this morning and NVIDIA. So out the gates, those are names to watch to see if we get the takedown or not. MSTR, I talked about how that could be a positive name to maybe trade. And since 8 a.m., it's been a nice little move higher, right? So it pushed up, pulled back, now starting to really get going there. MSTR is one to kind of keep an eye out for the up move. So MSTX is one that I would call out for the 100 break today. I'd like to see this come down one more time, but the 100 break could happen here right out the gates as you get a little bit of a squeeze in some of these crypto names. Definitely looking at CleanSpark here to see if maybe I take a shot right now in the pre-market. Could still get a pullback, but we've had about one up, one pullback, second push, second pullback, third push. Could get a small pullback and then that rip higher. So that's what I'm looking at to see if we get it. Maybe we get a little pullback to 1350s out the gates and then the continuation through the 1375. Definitely one to watch out the gates there for me. XRT is one to watch out the gates there for me. ANF and Wayfair, all names to kind of keep an eye out. They could be moving pretty fast today. So keep your eyes on these retail names, and we got to get ready for it, especially right before the bell. SOS giving a nice little pop there, guys. This looks like one of those penny stocks that loves to make a quick move. This thing went all the way up to 10, just pulled back to the VWAP here. I have an opportunity to play this, but you got to be careful on a name like this. This just went to 1032s, reloading, trying to reload off of this body close. We did undercut it here. That would be the risk here for me, around the 65s here for me. We just undercut it to 50s, so it doesn't look too bad here. SOS, I'm calling in SOS. There it is, breaking 9. So 9 would be the entry here for me. Let's see if I can get it here really quickly on a trade. I don't mind it, but you got to be careful here right before the bell. I hate taking trades right before the bell. My strategy says to hold off on this one, and I've been trying to hold to my strategy on the penny game. If it's not before 7 a.m. to hold off on it and wait until the open. So that's what I'm going to do here, but SOS looks good there. We'll see if it starts to push higher. Nice looking trade there that could take right back to 10. So what I was looking at to maybe potentially trade there off of the 9 and then look for the break above the 1050. So at least you get $1.50 upside. And then you had to understand what's your risk on the downside, about 65 cents. 45 cents I can risk there towards like the 65, which is not a bad one. Here would be that $9 entry here. You could take it there and then look to see if it happens. We'll see what happens on this one. I'm staying on the sideline on it. I don't think it's going to make that move just yet. And the biggest thing is I don't want to get caught towards the open with this one. SOS. I'm calling SOS. Good morning to you guys. How we doing, guys? Good morning, Kevin. What's going on, guys, out there? PGHL yesterday is an example of why I don't do pennies in China stocks. Luckily, it was quite low volume and that many did not blow out their accounts. Be careful. I mean, yeah, 100%. PGHL is a clear example of it, right? I mean, you can make a ton of money on these and you could also lose a ton of money on these, guys. This thing was an absolute monster ride. I think it was up in the after hours at it was a crazy move. This thing spiked for like a split second there towards like an insane amount. I think it was up there towards I have a high print there of 219, an open of 120, a low of 11. This is just what you mean. Like stocks to me like this shouldn't even exist. Like this is nothing that is real. And that's why I'm ignoring PGHL today. I'd ignore it. It just doesn't make sense for me, par. Good stocks you're looking at: Urban, Tesla, Mara. I like all these. Definitely something to watch there. Workday is an interesting one. Definitely took a little bit of a hit down. Derek Thompson, what's going on out there? Good morning to you guys. Shane, what you looking at this morning? What you watching? TRNR. Steph, I was watching this one earlier. Was looking for the break. That what happened on TRNR was a matter of just being a tiny bit late. So when I got to this one, it was at 380s, and I put out an order at 340s. It just ripped through the fours, didn't pull back. It went to 350s, didn't fill me at 340s, took that 4, went all the way up there towards 510s, and then started just to pull back. So we'll look to see if it gets hot towards the open. This is one that I will tell you guys, I know without a fact, without a fact, right? I know that for sure gurus are trading this. In one instance, for sure, I know that Ross Cameron has traded this. So just be careful out there, guys. This is one of those where you got the gurus in and they come in and out. I think they already made a trade earlier. So let's see if they recover some of those levels, especially around the 415 level is one thing that I'll be watching. All right, we'll see what else happens out there, guys. I'm seeing QMM make a little bit of a move there. We'll see if QMCO, a quantum play, gets hot again today. That got up there to 25, and then it's right back to 23s. So keep your eyes on these. These are interesting plays either way they go, because the truth is the volatility is there, and we'll see what happens. Does it get back through the 25, or does it start to crumble through that 2250s? Some things that I'll be looking at. QUBT trying to get that spot off the 7. We talked about it earlier. It went up there to 740s earlier. Will it take the move again? I think you just got to keep on watch. I honestly don't know the way the market will go today, and nor does anybody. The only thing you can do is just try to set up and know which way are your plays. What are you looking for? So Deere, of course, continuing on the upside. Of course, we looked at this one for a break of 410s for so long. Finally, on the earnings, we get that break. And now this thing seems like it doesn't even want to pull back. And so Cat looks hot, guys. Pakar looks hot. Honeywell is one that I'll get on the radar today. Back through yesterday's high would be a nice look, 232.50s. We'll look to see if it gets back through that. But that's just an industrial play, an ability to play something else. You always want to have different sectors and understanding of what you can find and looking for the rotation. Will we get a rotation back to tech this morning? Because there is some names that are hot and there's some names that are not, like NVIDIA and Apple keep dropping this morning. And those are a little sign of concern for sure. TRNR getting a little bit of a lift. We'll see if that gets back through 4 before the open. I'm not touching that right now. It just seems like a little bit dangerous before at 9:30. UMAC, another one making a little bit of a lift there. Unusual Machines, and it got a nice little push there off the 8, held the 8. Now they're towards $9, $10. So big breakout there in this name, 22% on that move. If you take a look at the daily, this thing's on an absolute rocket ride. UMAC, Mac, let's go. Nice move there. All right, we'll see what other ones are being mentioned out there. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look out there. CrowdStrike after the last earnings. Yeah. So CrowdStrike did have the earnings. They weren't the best earnings there. They did pull back, and now it's starting to climb back. I think you watch Pan W to see if it goes for that 400 break. It did, of course, it did weaker Q4 guidance was the key there, and that was a little bit sign of concern on this. So we'll see what happens there in CrowdStrike. Can it keep going? It is recovering, and that tells me look for a Pan W 400 breakout. This has been trying to load up here and then go for the break. We'll see if we get that today. If we could have a positive day in the cybersecurity names, this is one to keep on watch. Pan W, Zscaler has been trying to push back above, right? And it just pulled back, had a nice little move, now can push right back up there. You can also take a look at Snow to see if it can continue. So those names will give you idea of what's going on in CrowdStrike. So I think CrowdStrike's definitely bouncing back, even though it had that Q4 guidance. You got to look for a potential rejection of yesterday's close. So yesterday's closing price, 364.50s. That's kind of the area where you could run into a little bit of some resistance. QMCO pulling back there. We'll see what happens on that one. A couple of spikes there, but hasn't been able to hold really. All right, looking around. Jim Cramer says, cannot take so much abuse after drawing ridicule for Bitcoin and Apple calls. But he's not the only one calling out there. Of course, Jim Cramer getting hit hard as of course, what did Jim Cramer do? Well, he said that he wanted to go long Bitcoin, and that scared the crap out of me, guys. You want to know how I felt on that one? Well, just like this, guys. I felt like this. Well, I said, you know what? Oh, no, Jim Cramer, the kiss of death. Bitcoin, what are we going to do now? Run, girl, run. Get away. It's Jim Cramer. We'll see what happens with that one. Cramer definitely has been the kiss of death. And he started talking about Apple. Is that why Apple's down? Oh, man, it could be, man. I definitely don't like it when Jim starts calling out some of my stocks because, man, he has been an omen of death before. So he's not as bad as Kathy. I'll give him that. Kathy scares the living crap out of me when she talks about stocks. But have you guys seen how ARKK is finally showing some kind of turnaround? And don't forget, guys, when did ARKK get hot? It got hot in 2020. Where is ARKK prices back? At 2020 prices. So I would be looking at ARKK as a potential long-term investment here as it turns around above the 50 level. So of course 50 could be a nice little pullback to play this, but man, it's starting to get hot. So what do you look at? You look at what stocks are hot here, and those stocks should stay hot, right? Those are the stocks that are going to continue maybe lifting this above. Archer, big hot stock, guys. And Joby, all those names have been hot. This is, of course, your air taxi names. It's crazy to think so, but they're doing really well. All right, guys, do we expect a big day before Thanksgiving? I expect a low volume with quick spikes. That's what I'm looking for. Low volume, quick spikes. So pullbacks could happen today, and I'll be looking to try to make quick money, and maybe add it up at the end of the day. Archer, though, big move. SoFi taking off, guys. That's now $15 stock. And I remember I was looking at SoFi when it was breaking 10. It looked good for an investment. Now it's grinding higher, 67%. And overall, for the year, now SoFi is up 106%. So really nice breakout there. Hood on the breakout, guys. Definitely breaking out and continuing to break out. And this was a turnaround like none other. This was below 10. You could have got Hood at $8. Now it's 37. That's 200%. Investments, guys. Investments in sometimes high quality names could have definitely made you some money this year. So definitely, that's why I talk about swing trading and investment also versus just only day trade. I think you got to have 3 hats: an investment hat, a swing hat, and a day trading hat. But Hood continuing. Shopify, of course, one that I wanted to go ahead and maybe trade today. We'll see what happens. This one's made me some good money on Monday and continuing to push. Square is another one to look at to see if we get a rebound. Palantir's been hot. Tesla, Coin, Path. I don't like Path at all. Unity is one to watch as a growth name that could continue. Tempest AI. This is one I want to watch today, guys. I feel like this has a really nice cup and handle pattern. Hasn't made the move back above the highs here, but looking to see if we can get a little bit of a run. I like this one. I just got to watch to see if I can get the move here. We'll see what happens there, but not a bad looking trade here. Can it recover 62? If it recovers 62, I'll start paying attention to it. Even then, I think I can even pull this back down closer to 60, 61. We'll see if this starts to grind higher. I could see it push to like 64, 63s out the gates, and then a little pullback. This one moves fast, has a big spread. You got to be careful. Also watching to see if C3 AI and some of these AI names can stay hot. I have been seeing some of these start to make a push and could catch fire again. So SoundHound, different AI names, right? Keep a watch on some of those. They could be pushing. BABI, there's so many names there with the AI kind of ticker that I've been seeing kind of really push. All right, looking around to see what else is being mentioned out there. What other stocks are being talked about? Let me see if there's anything else in the scanner standing out to me. Not much there. Let's catch up with the chat. Kramer already profited from his Bitcoin levels a few years ago. Yeah, of course. That's how it is. I mean, a lot of people profited on Bitcoin. UMAC through the high of the day. Yeah, UMAC with a big push there. We'll see if UMAC can continue. Definitely that PHAL showing up on the scanners, but I'm not touching that. There's a push to 11 on UMAC. What a rip. What a rip higher, guys. This is one that a lot of times some traders start to short now, right? Right before the bell, they start to short it and looking for a move back down. I can't touch this one now. It's a little too extended. We'll see what happens towards the bell. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's see what else is out there, what we can trade. Like IDAI was one that had like an AI name, right? HS AI. I see so many of these AI at the end, and people just buy it just because it says AI. All right, what's up out there, guys? Adding SEDG like over the 1420s. Well, you need a good technology day. And then right now, I don't think technology is looking too hot, but we'll have to watch towards the open. Qs holding right now. And you can see the Qs haven't really gone back to that 830 spot or 822 spot. So they're a little bit pulling back there. And so is the SPY. So watch out for opening downside and then maybe a recovery. That's what I'll be looking for. Clean Spark, though, could get going right out the gates. I'm watching that one. I'm watching ANF also right out the gates there. So names definitely to watch here. We'll see what happens. So many names to watch. All right, we'll watch out the gates here to see what happens, guys. Stay safe out there. It's 9:23. We still got a little bit here right before the bell. Looking around in the chat, seeing what you guys are mentioning. Like always, hit that like, guys. Watch Mobileye to fill the gap today. Yes, Kevin, this is one that we've been talking about, and I think that Tesla will give us a good indicator if Mobileye can keep going. If Tesla rips to 250, I like the Mobileye for the continuation to that gap fill. And we were looking at that one since like 1650. So it's been a really nice trade there in Mobileye. Of course, this is the autonomous play that I called about because I think at the end of the day, if FSD is going to exist, I think Mobileye will have one also. So keep your eyes on that. And it's a good push there in Mobileye. All right, getting ready here right before the bell. Ready to grab some cash and make some money. All right, we'll see what happens there. Urban up there to 46. So, guys, a little bit extended on this. So, Urban, I'd be looking for pullbacks back down there towards like 43. But we'll see what happens here out the gates for ANF and AEO. AEO could get moving too It could get right back there to 19. It's not a bad one to watch for. We'll see if it starts to push. Intraday movers. Let's see what else is out there, what we can get, what we can find, guys. All right, let's see here. Gainers, losers, session, sector. Get out of that. All right. Float, price 5. That's fine. All right, we'll see what's moving out the gates, guys. I'm ready. I got the scanners ready to go ahead and get after it. Let's see if there's any news that came in that I missed there. I don't see anything. It's time to go trading, guys. Drone maker, unusual machines. So that's why unusual machines is getting the lift, guys. So UMAC here, it's all about drones. So it's a drone maker. Definitely getting a big lift there as Donald Trump Jr. joins advertising board. Donald Trump Jr. is joining this board. That's what's going on here. So UMAC got Donald Trump Jr. to join that, and they think that because of that, this company is going to get the lift. Well, that's as catalyst as you can maybe push some stock there, but definitely getting the push. And the article, let's see when this article came out. Article was updated 3 minutes ago, was published at 9:19. So they were definitely late to the oh good lord, they were late. They just published this thing. So yeah, they started to call it out up here, guys. So just be careful out there, guys, now that CNBC is putting it out there on the main page. So just to mention out there, UMAC why can I say that word today? Advisory board, Donald Trump Jr. It's one of those days, guys. It's just a little tongue twister. We'll see what happens here. UMAC starting to pull back, could be pulling back here towards the $9 here, but definitely something to look at. And why are they talking about this? There was tons of conversation in the Twitter space about how I think it was like the F-35 is being spent too much money, and how the U.S. military needs to stop spending money on jets and needs to use more drones. I mean, this is just Twitter talk. I mean, I think it's just BS also to kind of join in on that conversation because you got no say in it. But hey, that's just how Twitter talk can be. We'll see if UMAC can keep going. There's no reason why this stock needs to stop. Now, I do want to say that it's held the 9 EMA 3 times, so if it can't get to 11 here, it could start to break back down to the VWAP, but I'm not touching this stock right now. It just seems to me like a little bit too much danger on the action, and I'm way too late to it, right? Maybe I'd trade this back at like 7, but that's when it was breaking the VWAP. All right, guys, that's UMAC today. We still got some more stocks out there, and it's about 9:28. We got about less than a minute 30 for the open here. Let's get ready to go. Let's get looking around. Let's see what's moving. Clean Spark already getting a little bit of a lift there towards 1368. Just going to watch it out the gates. Not a bad one to keep an eye out here. And sometimes I feel like getting Clean Spark in the pre-market, so it'll be interesting to watch it out the gates. Mara is starting to get the lift there too. I'm looking to see if some of these crypto names could push there, so not a bad one to watch there, and we'll see if these start to really kind of lift off, right? Bito you can look at, right? That's to give you a little bit of a sign on how Bitcoin's doing overall, and it's continued to climb since this morning, 8:30, climbing right back up there about 1%. So not a bad looking trade there on Bito as it keeps climbing, and that tells me maybe look to see if Clean Spark really starts to get going on the upside there. Looking around, what's making a move this morning already? Hood getting a little bit of a lift there. That could give you an insight that maybe you start to see coin get the continued push. Coin yesterday up move right back down, right? So it tried to recover the 300 yesterday. Could it recover 300 and actually lift off that today? Yes, it could. So we just got another undercut towards below 300. Now I use that as the low where I don't want to see it break today and looking for that continued upside move. Now getting an alert, ANF already through my alert there towards 152 now, right here before the gates, right before the bell, guys. ANF already pushing here, guys. Let's go. Let's go trading. Let's have some fun. Tempest giving me a little bit of a lift there. Tempest AI to 61.45 looks pretty good here. The only problem with Tempest is the spread. So the Tempest spread is just really wide for me, so it's hard for me to get after this. I need to see a tighter spread. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. But hey, just because I like something doesn't mean I need to go trading it, right? All right, we'll look around to see what else is making a move there. SOS is one of the smaller names I can trade here right out the gates there. I'll be looking at maybe potentially trading some of those out the gates there. ANF, slight move down here out the gates. XRT trying to hold in there. I'm trying to see what's leading in the XRT. I'm getting Ulta with a nice little move up. That could help ELF get them this nice push. 127 on ELF looks pretty decent here as it starts to push. Alert on QMCO, alert on Nike. So those are names that I'll definitely be looking at. QMCO, of course, is your quantum play. Got back there to 25, but right back down to $23. So $2 pop, a $2 drop. Be careful there on that QMCO. It's been about fourth time that it's been up there to the 25s and could start to break down. Another alert there on ANF now on the pullback. And so that gives me the alert to maybe start getting that entry there on ANF there. I'm just looking at the XRT and the SPY to see what's going on. We're getting a down action move right out the gates here. Q's dropping fast there. Is it Apple? Is it NVIDIA? That's what I want to watch. NVIDIA is getting washed. That's where I see the weakness, guys. They can't keep telling me that they're not washing out NVIDIA there. Definitely getting the wash on NVIDIA. QMCO now on the downside. So definitely seeing those quantum computing plays come on the downside there. QUBT on the downside of that 7 could be coming down a little bit further here as it starts to pull back. And this is extended. So just be careful out there. That means that IonQ could be pulling back a little bit today. We'll see what happens on that. Did do a little bit of a fake out to the 3150s. Now will it start to crack a little bit here? Just keeping an eye on it. Tempest AI is still holding in there. The only problem is to me is the spread. I like the way it looks here. Just the spread's a little too wide there. Clean Spark back down to 1346. Look to see what happens there on Clean Spark. I'm trying to set an alert here for the VWAP recovery. All right, we'll see when it gets back through 1366. That's kind of the level that I'd be watching there. Mara out the gates, a little bit of a pullback. Hut out the gates, a little bit of a pullback. So some of these really pulling back out the gates here. Let's take a look to see what's leading the action here. Healthcare, real estate leading, industrials leading. What's on the downside? Technology. I talked about it, how that did not look good here. We'll see if we start to get the nice little push there. ANF. XRT pulling back there. ANF now starting to look interesting here for me. I might take a 100 share position right now. I'm trying to get it here. The only thing is the spread on ANF is always so hard to deal with. So I'm going to try to get here 151s if I can get it. Let's see what happens. All right, Lulu giving me an alert. That's another one to watch today, guys. Lulu, I'm watching Lulu here as Lulu starts to climb. Lulu is going to be one that I'll take a bet on, guys. I'll take 100 shares of that one and see what happens. This doesn't look bad. I'm looking for 321 here to risk off the 320s. Wayfair giving me an alert there. So a lot of alerts coming on today, guys. And a lot of this is what I want to do is just try to get some action out there. Trying to go ahead and get a little starter here in Lulu. Can I get the Lulu entry here? I'm looking for it, guys. I'm looking for it. Just need a pullback back down into the kind of the 320s with the 320.80s on the offer. That's kind of the look that I'm looking at right now. ANF also coming right back down. I'm looking to try to get both of these on the pullback. They both look good here. It's just more which one I can grab. Which one will let me in? 152 looking good there on ANF. It's starting to recover. Looks great here. Now starts to push. Can I get one more pullback into this, into like underneath the 152 spot? I'll take the shot. Nike also doing well here, guys. So Nike, I talked about how that one could do well. That pushed to 78, 79. I like this. I just need some pullback action on Nike now. No pullback on Lily right now. I'm looking to try to get Lulu, trying to get into A&F, trying to get into Nike. Those types of names. Best Buy on the downside at 87.50s. That's the one that doesn't look the best there. Wayfair, though, gets a push above the 46. Could take 47 today. Does look interesting there on Wayfair. All right, no position just yet, guys. No position just yet. Just trying to look around and trying to find some trades out there. UMAC mentioned out there. All right, we'll look to see what happens there. Clean Spark starting to recover there, so that looks actually interesting here for a little bit of a rally here on Clean Spark. I'm willing to take it here, see what happens, and then, of course, I'll be watching some retail trades. I've been trying to get into some of those. The setups are very hard right now. XRT, though, taking off there. That tells me a sign more and more, guys. You don't want to miss that XRT trade, so I'm watching it here. I'm just looking for anything. AEO with a nice little push. Ulta with a nice little push. Etsy, all names that look good there for your kind of Black Friday type of trade. Foot Locker getting a nice little lift there. So I'm trying to catch some moves here. I'm just not getting much pullback action. I'm just getting breakouts, and A&F did pull back there towards 152, now pushing to 153, 154. So good move there in A&F. Might miss this trade now as I keep missing it there. So it's just tough because I'm trying to get in it, but truth is it needs to get a nice little lift off there. Clean Spark pulling back again here. Now could take a little bit of a lift here. So I'm just looking at to see if maybe it starts to make a little bit of a push here. Mara right above the VWAP. The Qs are still pretty weak, though. That's the only concern for me. SPY went up, but then it came right back down here. Clean Spark coming back here. Now it looks a little bit better here for a little bit of a quick trade here. Let me see if I can get this, guys, and ride it up there, maybe towards the 14s. Doesn't look bad here. Just needs to hold off the 1350s here. There it goes above the 1667. So I just hesitated there at 1660s. I'm looking for a little pullback towards 1660, 1360. All right, nice little lift on that first action there in Clean Spark. Could start to push here. Now it's pulled back a little bit here. Let's see if we can get the move there. I'm going long here. So I just went long there and went 1,000 shares there. So I got to be careful for a little bit of a takedown here. Just want to be really quick to the gun here. See if it can start to push above that 60, and I can risk off of that 60 right now. There we go. Good first push there towards the 1368s. Have about 1,000 shares here. Want this to start riding up there, and then I can hold break even with this. Now it starts to go to the 1370s. Looks pretty good if we could take up there towards the 1380s and 1390s. So let's see if it starts to rocket up there. There's 1370s, not looking bad. Take the pre-market high and we'll look a lot better here. So at this point, I'm just looking to go ahead and go break even and let this thing rocket. If it's going to make the move, it's going to do it right now. Let's see if it starts to take off here. Nice little first action to the 75. Looking for a push into the 85s in the kind of the 14 spot there. So let's see if we can get above towards 14 on the first action. If it pulls back and stops me out, break even, that's okay too. So I'm trying to be break even more often here, and especially early on, just trying to catch a little bit of a quick runner, take that cash, and then look to see what happens from there, right? All right, guys, let's see what happens here. Clean Spark. Also still watching that A&F move, still watching Lulu and names like that to see if I get some type of pullback. XRT pulling back there, and there's Clean Spark right back down there, guys. So today's going to be one of those days where we have to come being willing to get in, willing to get out. So for me, it's now to see if it holds 1360s on the pullback. just didn't want to risk there. I jumped up, I chased a little bit. I didn't want to risk on the downside towards 1360s here. Let's see if it can hold here and then make the real move higher. Doesn't still look bad there. Mara made a nice little quick sweep up there. I'm still willing to get back in here. I'm just watching CleanSpark to see if it can make a 1360 attempt and then come right back up. It hit 1361, starting to work its way back up here. Trying to get the move here is CleanSpark. Hasn't made the move here. Let's see if it starts to make the move now. All right, still looking good here. Let's see if we can get it there and then start to get a run above the 1370s there. Doesn't look bad there as it's trying to reload. Did get some volume there. I don't see a wall at least, but I'm just looking to see if we can start to take a lead here. Back and forth action. The Qs, though, the SPY is what's really kind of holding this back here, as it is kind of pulling back right now. QUBT now going down there towards 1686. So we'll see if it can recover 7. But QMCO, back and forth action. This coming back to 22s now could fade a little bit back into the 20s. So it doesn't look too bad for a fade on QMCO. It's a different style of trade, but you'd be betting against the quantum computing names today. We'll see what happens there. I think it came out of a hole, QMCO. So we'll see what happens on that one. BCIG, another name that's starting to get the lift there today. Not a bad move off the 250s, holding the $3 right now. CleanSpark just held there, now holding the 1370s. The SPY, I need the SPY to start coming back, the Qs to come back there. Now we're seeing the Qs turn around a little bit here. So we could get the push now. Let's see if I can get the lift here. Strong move in Nike today, guys. Strong move in Nike. Seems a little trappy here on CleanSpark, so I'm going to hold off on this one, guys. It looks good, but the problem is that it's still a little trappy, and it's not really moving much. It's only moved about 25 cents today, so that's another thing to think about. Mara, though, has continued and gone at the 2650. There's CleanSpark now pushing on the 72s. It would be right here at the 73s for a scalp action towards the 14s. Doesn't look bad there. Kind of hesitating a little bit. You can tell I just let off there, and I didn't take the trade. It would have been right there at 70s. I don't want to chase here at the 76. I feel like I'm starting to chase there, but there's at least a little push there towards the 1380s. This one, not a bad one to watch today. I'm looking for the crypto names to make a little bit of a lift. Mara is pushing a little bit better. Riot got a nice little lift off the VWAP there. So nice push there in this one. I just got the wrong one, I feel like, on CleanSpark. It did not give me that lift there, and now it's starting to push there to the 1380s. This is the kind of the push I was looking for towards 14s. That would have made me a little bit of a cushion this morning. But hey, it is what it is. Shake it. Let's go bake it, man. ANF pulling back there towards the VWAP. Doesn't look too bad if we can actually start to get some of the SPY into the green here. So I'm watching the charts overall to see if SPY can make the move. Mobileye is still doing really well, guys. Mobileye is one that I'm missing here. That it should not be one that I'm missing, guys. This is one that I talked about that is just doing really well, guys. Just rocking and rolling. The trend is looking awesome. Tesla is one that I wanted to look at with that one today. Will Tesla go green? It went red to start off the day. Let's see if it goes green somehow, some way. Tesla starts to work its way back. Qs and Apple. What's going on there? Apple going red. NVIDIA starting to come back. So let's see if the Qs can come back. All right, CleanSpark did get up there to the 1385. So, hey, maybe missed out on that one. ANF starting to climb back towards 152. I'm thinking about taking that 152, but definitely would be reaching a little bit here. Have to hold off the 150. So it's still $200 risk there. Just looking to see if ANF really wants to start coming back here. I'm watching the hourly really to see if it can make a test back towards 150 and then start working its way back up. It's one to watch, right? Because that's starting to act as support. But yesterday it was as low as 143. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. What you guys got out there? Making some money? Let's go. Get that cash, guys. Mobileye doing pretty well there. AUR is a one to watch on the smaller names to see if those can get the lift there. And that is getting a little bit of a push there. So not a bad looking name there is AUR. We'll look to see if it keeps going today. ANF now starting to get the push there. 152.50s, trying to get the lift off of this. It looks pretty good on the pullback there. Take a look at the 5-minute chart. I think we could get one more attempt down here on the ANF where it can come to the 150 and then recover towards 154. So 150 seems like a good area for me down in this space to look for a long. Longing up there is just asking for some kind of to get hit, really. Let's just be honest. Lulu, though, could take off there. It's a little weaker than the other one was yesterday. So I'm watching Lulu to see if it just wants to just take off here. I think Lulu could lead a little bit today, guys, and this is one that I don't want to miss here. So I'm thinking about taking 50 shares here and then trying to add 50 shares at 320, which would put me at 321. Let's take a shot there on Lulu. All right, guys, just taking a starter there on Lulu. This one's a hard one to take, guys. I just took 50 shares there, and I'm going to do what I just said. So I took 50 shares at like kind of 322s. I'm looking for 320s or 320.50s with another 50 shares. So right now I'll put it in at 320. So that could give me like an average of 321 with 100 shares. Let's see what happens there. Looking for an attempted move that comes back there, maybe fills me on the pullback, but this looks like it just wants to take off there. Nice little push off this first level, now towards the high, right back. So looking good here on the first action. Thinking about adding in here, but it needs to pull back here. It needs to at least give me some kind of pullback to add into. We'll watch the action here. Lulu, and ANF, names that I really want here. I'll still look for a pullback on that ANF to go one more time. Up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three. Shouldn't break that. Get me back to like 151 and then take off. That's what I'm going to be looking for here on that one. So I'm going to set an alert there on that. All right, we'll see if we get back there towards the 151, make another bottoming around maybe 150.60. So that's what I'm looking at there. We'll see what happens. XRT looking well this morning. Let's go to some of those names and stick with it. Bath and Body Works, nice one. BTCT giving a little bit of an alert. I talked about how the Bitcoin names could push there. BTCT getting a little bit of a lift there. Doesn't look too bad. And of course, this one has a nice daily chart off of that level, holding the 15 today. So it's not a bad looking chart here. I'm going to go for the smaller account here and see what I can do with this one. So I got to do a starter here on this and then look to see if I can add in on the pullback. Ooh, it just jumped there, guys. I was trying to get 16. It jumped really quickly. Trying to get 16. Trying to get 16. Little frustrated, guys. I put that order out there, and it right when it jumped off the 16, and it went to 16.30s. I would already be on the offer about $50 up there. I wanted to get it at 16. I need a 16 pullback here. I don't want to be filling up at 16.50s. Looking for a pullback into this spot, but it's just jumping. I might have to jump up if I want it. I'm going to look for the pullback, guys. We'll see if we get the pullback fill there. No fill there on BTCT. Clean Spark still right there. I'm looking to try to grab BTCT, but QUBT came right back up, guys, and just started ripping. So looking good there and looking good on Lulu. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try to grab some here of this BTCT, but No pullback just yet there on BTCT. Trying to get it on a pullback, but no pullback there. 1650s could keep going, could keep rocking and rolling. That was a good push there, man. I'm a little upset I wasn't able to get an entry there. And now I got a high of 1679. So it was a really good outlook there. Just wasn't able to get the entry. Clean spark could be another way that I can go right back into this, right? We've just talked about that. We'll see if this one starts to make the move here now. It's been trying a clean spark. QUBT, big push up there. QMCO could push right back. We'll see what happens. QUBT did push right back through the 7. Lulu now pulling back a little bit here, looking to maybe get my ad there in Lulu. Trying to wait for the pullback here a little bit further on Lulu, and then just looking for a quick wick kind of down into this area and then back up above. A&F still looking decent here. Just could take off there at any moment. Would like to see one more pullback and then the push come. SPY, though, coming down there, guys. We are getting some red action in technology today. That's for sure, guys. NVIDIA, Apple, I don't feel good about, guys. Even Apple, I don't feel good about. That's not a good sign. Amazon down there today. Meta down also. So they're dragging the market. That's for sure, guys. So be careful out there. VIX starting to jump there. So that's one way to play this downside action if you feel like it's going to continue. The Q's coming down fast there. That's a negative turn there. SQQQ could be another way to play this. It's starting to get a little bit of a spike, but definitely we're seeing that downside action today. We'll look to see if this turns around, but definitely not looking good right out the start there. Shop trying to hold the 112. Could be pulling back today. It looks strong, but it also looks like it could pull back. Big level to watch is 112.39, and it keeps fighting in the 112.50 area is Shopify. And Amazon's down big right now. It's just on a pullback, but the truth is it is pulling back a pretty good amount. It's near the hourly lows. I think it needs to get to around 205 first. Lulu pulling back there. We'll look to see if it gets back up to that level, but not a bad little push out the gates there. That's what I'm looking for it to come back to, the 325s. I'm just looking to add closer towards the 320s here. AEO doing pretty well there. Got up there towards 850s. Talked about this one with Urban, and now it's doing pretty well there. Got a nice little push out the gates. Held the VWAP. Now coming back. Could be looking at more of a 15-minute pullback, maybe back towards 1820s, and then starts to get hot again. UMAC, of course, that stock that was ripping this morning. Went up there towards 11, pulled back towards 9, not kind of chomping in between there. Go over back to the limited account BTCT. I'm just taking a look at that one to see where it's at, and it pulled back here to 1630s. Could be coming back to the 16s. We'll see if it actually does make the move. Clean Spark now coming down. Mara coming down. The Q's looking weak here. Big break on the downside to the 506. So we're getting some downside action right now. Will it continue? VXX right there looking like it's about to pop off there. So just mentioning that on the downside. That's kind of like your downside risk, is that the market really starts to come down here and really drags. The SPY just put in a little bit of a wick there. So good looking wick there. Estee Lauder getting a nice little move day today. Ulta getting a nice little move. So keeping an eye out on some of those. Etsy's another Black Friday trade that's doing well. Nike's one that's pulled back here. Nike looks interesting for me, guys, on this pullback. So watching that action, and A&F giving me an alert there. So all these names looking decent here. A&F, I like this one, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get 50 shares here. All right, guys, just tried to get some right there. Got 151.30s, so I like that action. Let's see if this starts to go back. I got 50 shares there. Willing to get a little bit more down at 150 if it comes down, but just taking a little bit there of Lulu and A&F. Trying to be slower and then looking for the move. The big move will come when I see XRT kind of break higher. So now I'm watching kind of like this 15-minute candle to see if it can push above that, right? Push it back towards 150, 250s. That's going to be where you can really start to push higher. Really would like to see this hold the 150 in the 9 EMA, which is around 150, 56, which it has come down to, right? It has just recently come into that area. I'd like to see maybe a little wick here and then a recovery right back up. So it looks pretty decent here on A&F. Let's go looking at Nike, and then maybe we play all three of those plays. I do like this Nike. I like it at 78. So 78, 78, 13, somewhere there is where I'd like it. Looking for a pullback below the 78.20s, and that'll give me an alert. Lulu pulling back there, trying to still get in there and add. I got one trade on there in Lulu. XRT coming back down. That's an interesting outlook. Definitely the market's struggling here, guys. So just be careful out there. It is still struggling. We'll see if it comes back. It is on the struggle, though. Workday doing well. So those people that trade that Workday trade, not a bad trade there. Trying to stay with the names that are in the green also. It's an important outlook. Lulu pulling back there. Might give me that 320 entry here. So I'm still trying to get that 320 entry. Might even go a little bit lower towards like 3987s right now. Looking at Lulu on a 15-minute. Let's go looking at that. Okay, so 15-minute, right? It shook this bearish pattern, right? I'm going to make this bigger so we can kind of break this down a little bit here. So it shook this bearish pattern, got above it, broke towards this side. Could reload right around the 9 EMA. So that's kind of the outlook there. The 9 EMA right now is at 319.97. So that's kind of like your reload there around the 320 area, essentially. So that's what I'm watching here on the reload. Can you come to that reload spot and pull me back to 321, giving me 100 shares at 321? That's what I'm pretty much looking at. So I said it was at 319.97. So let's give it a little room there. $319, I have it around like 78.80. So we'll have actually a little bit below 321 if I get filled there. Am seeing some downside action come in here. Just got to be careful. There's A&F back down into that spot where I want to go ahead and get the ad here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the ad in just a second here. Just need to see it start to work back to the upside here. The Qs need to catch some kind of bounce in the SPY, because that's what's happening here. We're getting a wash in the market on the first action. The SPY is starting to come back, so that makes me feel a little bit better here. Being able to hold right now because of the smaller positions. $10 guys, 10 o'clock, and it's been pretty much a bearish day to start the day today, guys. So just be careful out there if you're playing upside action. It seems like we're getting a little bit of them back and forth in the SPY, and the Qs are the weak area, really. So need to see those start to work its way back. Just got closer towards 320s there on Lulu, not adding on A&F here, as this is coming down here and could test the low. The low of the day is around 128 on the downside. So definitely don't want that to happen, but just watching the action here off the 150 area. Okay, looks good there on the 15 minutes to hold this level here. So to start looking to add in on A and F. All right, let's look at on this low here, this low move here. Nice little rebound there. Order out for an ad near the low right now. SPY dragging, so I'm canceling. Qs and SPY are just dragging. That's what's holding me up on the ads. Nike went back down into that 78.20 area. Looking at it right now, like the 15-minute 9 EMA right around the 78.20s, but it hasn't come back to that yet. XRT pulling back fast, guys. The SPY pulling back fast. Now could break 600. It is not looking good today, guys. Looking like a VIX could get the nice little pop here. The VIX is not popping yet. The market is coming down here. So a little part of me is thinking about at least hedging some of my battle here with the VIX. I could take the VIX trade here and see if it starts to bounce back with the Qs. If the SPY and the Qs keep coming down, the VIX will get that spike here. So that's what I'm going to probably do here. I'm going to try to catch myself and protect myself, at least give myself like $100 a potential comeback here. Man, the stocks are so weak for this to be like so weak also. The VIX usually pushing to the upside there. I am getting further and further downside approaches there on A and F, so got to be careful, guys. Got to be careful. All right, there's a little bit of a comeback here. So I'm trying my best not to play the VIX. All right, there's a little bit of a comeback on the Qs. So that at least makes me feel a little better. If it just washes again, I will be watching that, guys. But right now, it looks a little bit better. Could still make the move, though. So watching the Qs. The Qs are what's really costing us right now. All right, starting to come back now. And just when I say that, it gets a hit. So there's a little chop right now. It's a little bit of a battle. No ad there just yet. Back and forth here, right here, guys. Look how the VIX is starting to come back, though. Now the VIX at 67, guys. It was just at 55. It's going to be a hard day here, guys. Hard day. Hard day. It's a day before Thanksgiving, guys. What's up out there, guys? PGHL under 10 now from yesterday's high. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell to say about that one, man. When does the Black Friday sale finish on the super buying power? I believe it says it in the banner. Um, believe it says it in the banner. I think it's until December 2nd, but I'm not to be sure, guys. So I would try to get it before then. But I'll take a look at that and try to verify it for you guys. It's a back and forth action in the queues right now. It's just keeping me on the sideline. I am down about 200 right now. So of course, just trying to keep things in perspective, trying to battle, but see the queues look weak here, man. All right, they're crumbling a little bit. And then as soon as I say that, it starts to recover. So it's back and forth right now, guys. Back and forth. All right, now starting to come down again. All right, I'm going to do some protection here with the VIX long. I'm going to hedge my battle here. Nike's still coming up. Q's still going down, though. I mean, it's a battle back and forth, man. It's so back and forth right now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Now the Q's trying to come back, and then it just stops. Best Buy coming back. That looks a little bit better. Nike holding in there. But as soon as I say that, it just stops. So it's right now a battle between the Qs. I'm looking to see if the Qs can just break to the upside here. It could go to the downside. There is a downside look. Okay, I'm going to buy some protection here. Let me see if I have the protection to buy. All right, I bought it there. Bought a little protection here, guys. Risking like $50 on this protection. Canceling the Lulu ad. Put $50 in protection here just to make sure if we do get upside rip in the VIX, I'm able to hang on there. The chop, man, the chop is insane right now. Just got to be careful on both sides right now. It's like just trying to chop on the bottom and build some buying, but could always take out that 506 on the downside in the Qs. All right, now the VIX kicking off a little bit here. But the Qs still haven't broken down. So I'm staying off on the ad. You can see I'm up on the VIX to try to manage some of these losses. This is a hard day, guys. Very hard day. I'm trying to stay in tune, trying to stay watching, trying to see what I see. All right, so now I'm seeing more drops. So now on this, I can go for an ad here and look to see if it goes further. There's a big push there. This is at least going to be able to give me some good profits. See if I can make 300 here and at least cover some of my trades. All right, now starting to get into the green here, guys. Now starting to get to the green. So my other trades are going to go red, but I'm going to try to make some money with this trade here. Q's faking to the breakdown, faking on the breakdown there. Want the Q's. Don't want to lose on this position. Going to bring it back to break even if I need to. Q's coming back for that 506. That's going to be a big watch to see if it goes above the 506 or does it reject from the 506. Watching the Q's, guys. Watching the Q's. I'm up 110 on the VIX, but still down 200 on the other names. So overall, about 100. The Q's can come back. I can go adding to Lulu and ANF. If not, I need to keep trying to make some cash on the VIX to balance out. Shopify still looks like it wants to recover 112, so that's holding pretty well on that one. This is a stock that's going nowhere and trying to recover. Here's the Q's for another downside approach here. Let's see if we get a quick little rip rally here. Quick pop to 44s, and I'll just probably take that cash and cut these trades. So let's see what happens. Easily could get a spike here, guys. Let's see what happens. The Q's heading right back towards the lows. Let's see if we get another little spike there. There's a spike towards the upside there. You see I'm up 200, yet the other ones are we're getting closer to 300. ANF is a little bit more concerning than the other ones. There's some hard downside there, guys. So now I need to make some money for sure. So here's where I need to go ahead and make sure that I make some money. Looking for a spike until like, let's say 410s, then going to take the money and run. Okay, now we're up towards 300 in a second here. I'll put a stop loss at 300, guaranteed 300. Try to minimize my damage on the other names. Looking for a slight spike above the 44s here. Q's still coming down. Still showing some downside action there. All right, starting to be about 300 on both sides of this trade here. So really got to be prudent here to make cash. SPY just Q's just going down fast there. 505 30s now. All right, guys, about to cut ANF. About to cut ANF. Stick with one of them. 200 risk on that A&F now set. So now I'm watching just to see if the VIX can get one more jump here. There we go. Looks good. All right, securing here, 275, looking for another little spike here. There we go. That's a nice little spike. Trying to take the cash here, guys. Oh, come on. No fill there? Come on. You're killing me. How no fill there? All right, well, I'm protecting 325 here. Should have got that push, though. Looking for more. Pulling back the stop. It's a battle, man. Should have taken that cash there. Tried to get it. There's 44s now. Trying to take the cash here. It's pushing. Got 385 on the pullback here. 410s. All right, still up. You see here, I'm still up right now. If I cancel everything, this is an important outlook right now for me. So I'm just watching the action here, looking to go ahead and trail it. Make sure that now I got 405. You want to keep pushing, I'll keep pushing with you. Make some money on the opposite side, and then I can cancel the other ones. There you go. Just took the money and ran, guys. Now the market's starting to come back. Now I got to go looking at ANF and Lulu. So just took that 380s. Now I need to make sure I at least get 300 and risk at 300. $147.50 risk on ANF. Lulu is the one that I'm going to go for an ad. Feel a little bit more positive about that Lulu. Now I need to see if the Qs can really bounce back. It could still do more takedown, and that's where I get a little bit hit harder, right? So that's what I'm trying to manage. It's a battle today, guys. Battle. Looking like I'm going to get hit in ANF. But at least battled, right? Took some cash there. Really protected me here. All right, now putting out that 319 on Lulu. Just trying to get filled on the pullback. But it's coming back fast there now, the Qs. Trying to get an ad on Lulu at the low of the day. It needs to pull back, though. I don't want to be adding too much and chasing. It's just more if we still... Oh, that's a nice little move there on the Qs there. Looking at the SPY now. The SPY is a big watch for me. Can it start to work back? XRT came all the way back to that 83. Nice level to maybe take a shot off of, but we'll see what happens. How are these small plays doing out there? Ooh, just got hit on that ANF. I had that feeling I'd get hit on one of them. So at least what does this do, right? I'm still up 168, and I got Lulu 135 down and have the potential to make the gains, right? That was a good like adjustment there. ANF is taking out all my profits. Eli, it happens, man. I'm sorry. It took out some of mine. You saw me. The key there, I did a kind of a hedge style trade and going for the VIX. Got your target, Jim? Take that turkey and run, my friend. Tough market right now. Best Buy going well, guys. That's looking good. Now that's above VWAP and starting to hold well. I know that a lot of people were negative on Best Buy because of their outlook that they put out, but that's actually looking good here now. We could get one more downturn here and then the move back up, right? So I'm watching the VIX here to see if it takes one more spike. I think we could get one more spike and then the move. Alert, alert, Best Buy, Best Buy. And I already saw it there. It's going for the 89 and going strong there now. A little part of me wants to scalp the 89 there, but it's a scalp. Starting to see some retail make a comeback here. Let's see if Amazon can make a little bit of a comeback. That's going to be a nice telling time for Shop. So I've been watching Shop this whole morning, try to develop a position here. And definitely there's a nice little kind of hold up here. And I think that's an important thing. Now, of course, if it breaks down through this level, it's going to be looking like a breakdown. But if it can hold that and start making that up approach, it won't be looking too bad there. And it's had like a nice kind of up one, down one, up two, down two, up three. Needs to kind of hold a down attempt towards a 111.65 and then come back up through the 112. There's the VIX coming right back up, like I talked about. We could still get one more downside action move there in the Qs, and we are seeing it. It could still break down and go further. The SPY is the one that is kind of holding up here a little bit, starting to turn. The Qs still look pretty weak there. And why? NVIDIA is pretty weak. Apple's pretty weak there. You're seeing some downside there, right? Even Meta is pretty weak right now. So some of these big boys pretty weak. Lulu starting to come back there. It looks pretty good as it starts to recover now. Now it's about determining the risk to return, right? That's what it's always about sometimes. Let's take a look here, see if it starts to make the move. But I'm seeing the Qs make a big move to the downside there. The VIX going to be looking good here for a little spike above the 44s. Let's see if it actually does do that spike there. Sometimes has a trap there. And there's the 44s. It showed up really quickly there. I had a slight second to make an attempt there on the 44s, but it's already the 4404. So, and just like that, right back. So, Scott made that down attempt. Now have a look to see if it starts to really push here. Lulu looking for one more down attempt to go ahead and fill in here. I just needed to come back into this spot and then could start working its way back to the upside. Lulu. Up 168. Could cut this right now and still be up on the day. And that's an important thing for me. All right, let's see what else is out there. What's going on, traders? How we doing? Any of the small cap names moving out there? You guys yell at me. Let me know. I'm taking a look into the scanners. I'm seeing UMAC up a little bit on the last recent move here. All right, UMAC at 1106, starting to climb back there. ANF is starting to climb back. I might get back into ANF, man. I still like it. I'll tell you that much. I still like it. Lulu might go for a little bit of an undercut and rally trade. So that's what I'm looking at right now, for an undercut and rally. Can we get the market to come back, man? Market's just struggling along here. SMST getting the lift there. That means MSTR is coming down a little bit today, and that's not something I expected to see. We'll see if Clean Spark makes its way back up here. I think that's something to watch for. It hasn't come down much, and that tells me something. Keep your eyes on it. We'll see what happens. Mara, what's up with Mara? How is the Bitcoin names moving this morning? How's Bitcoin overall? I think we're not moving too bad here. Let me see. I'm gonna go looking into the price here. I think it's so interesting that MicroStrategy has acquired another 55,000 Bitcoins. It's ridiculous. They have 386,700 Bitcoins. It is insane how much money MSTR has in Bitcoin. The stock moves with Bitcoin, man. It's crazy, but that 10-to-1 split earlier in the year might have been an amazing investment. Q is just kind of bottoming out there. Now I'm seeing Best Buy look like it wants that 90 today, guys. It's going for that recovery look. 91 right now could take that 90 spot right here. Lulu now starting to balance out there, and we're starting to get some recoveries in the market. I'm looking for a little bit of that recovery now starting to play in here. Q's still leaking though. We'll see if it starts to make a quick move right back down. So the Qs, you can see them at 504.59. Let's see if it starts to hold up there, because if we keep getting just red on the market, I don't know how Lulu hangs on here, right? So another thing is I'm down about a 108 there. I could just cut this position and reopen another position, right? That's another thing that I'm considering here, because adding to this position and averaging down is not the same as me just maybe cutting it and going bigger down here, right? So that's another thing that I'm thinking about as we keep kind of pushing back and forth. Seeing some more red here, so thinking about just cutting here, Lulu. Yeah, it's a little bit too much more for me here, so I don't mind getting out of Lulu and then looking to see if I can get back in. The Q's just too weak, guys. The Q's are too weak. Best Buy, though, going for that 89. Best Buy is going for that 89. That's one thing I will say. Best Buy went for that 89. We'll see what happens in XRT. Just trying to make the comeback is XRT, but it just can't just yet. Big part of it, the Q's making another low there. Now VIX at 44.13. Remember, I mentioned that 44, you had that opportunity going to the 44s. It's at like 20 cents off of that. So if I would have longed the VIX there and just hedged again, would be making some money in the VIX here, and then still out on Lulu, but making maybe like another 200. There's 89.20s now for Best Buy. So 40 cents from when we started to talk about it. Looks pretty good. Nike pushing strong there too, guys. So I like it. I like it out there, guys. It looks good. As we start to see these retails holding on, VIX starting to come down, that's all good signs. Nike, look at the continuation in Nike today. Pullback in Nike, right back up. So Nike was a good trade there. I hope somebody was able to nail that. That was definitely on our watch. Even Crocs was on our watch, guys. Look at Crocs is holding on here out to 107. Looking really good here is the shoes with holes. The shoes with turkey holes. See what happens out there. Stop, still holding that bottoming action right now. Could just go right back to the upside. Clean Spark, same thing. Clean Spark going for the up move now. I like this action as it comes right back to the upside here, guys, for a break. And it started to like break down. Now it's going for it at 10:30. Looks pretty decent here. What's holding me back, right? There has to be something holding me back. Well, it's the Qs and the SPY, the overall market, guys. I want to jump into this trade right now. The market needs to start agreeing with me. All right, looking at a long here and Clean Spark. I still like the trade here. I'd like it at 1370s or 1360s. Ah, come on, man. Lulu just chased me with that stop there. So I'm thinking we might come back here, guys. So I'm up still 32. Got to shake it. Got to shake it. Start it all over. Start all over, guys. Start all over. All that work that we did, just start it all over. Let's be smart. Let's focus in. What are we seeing here? Still downside action in the SPY, the Qs. That could still drag some stocks lower here. So as much as I like Clean Spark here, I got to keep watching that the Qs reverse, because if the Qs don't reverse, well, guess what? I can Clean Spark all I want, but it ain't going to be moving if it doesn't get the lift there. Clean Spark still looks good, though. Now starting to push to the upside. This is my opportunity if I want Clean Spark. But the problem is the Qs and the SPY still don't agree. The Qs still coming down. The SPY still coming down. I'm going to be patient there, guys. I don't want to give up some profits today for no reason. I was able to manage that downside with the VIX and make a nice gain there that held me. It held me into this. So now I got to be smart. Clean Spark still looking good. And the reason I went off the chart is because I want a long button. But the truth is, just because I want a long, it doesn't mean it's a good trade, because the setup is there on Clean Spark. The setup is there on Mara. But I need the Qs to reverse out of this funk that they're in. Lulu did chase me down there on that wick. So I might come back to Lulu if it really starts to rock and roll. But just mentioning on one, if we start to see the market come back, yeah, I could still look at some names. Even XRT still looks good. Let's look at the sectors overall and see what's starting to come back in the last hour. That's so important to me. Last hour, it's healthcare, it's defensive, it's real estate, it's utilities. Now starting to pull back, financials going down. A lot of stocks just going down in the recent minute. So it does not look good, guys. It looks like downside action, if anything. So I'm still watching the VIX here. It could still push the VIX. Back and forth action here. I think you got to be a little patient here to get paid, right? If you're patient, you're probably going to get paid. You run and you try to front run a lot of these, and you better kind of get some money back, because it's back and forth right now, and it's ugly on the index. Still looking okay in certain areas. Amazon starting to come back, so that gives me excited for Shop. The Shop's been off this area for so long now, and now can start making a 15-minute approach back with a bullish engulfing candle if it goes back through 112. Just need the market to come back here. Clean Spark did hold on, though. The Q's still trying to hold on there and now start to come back here. So I like that downside action that came in on the Clean Spark and then tried to wipe out some traders. And now you're getting the move back to the upside. Q's just went up there. So that looks good here for Clean Spark to now make the move. And just when I say that, it's in 1 second wick on the Q's. So it just seems to me like we're getting a little bit of that choppy trading here. I think you got to go to deeper time frames and make sure you don't get caught. Clean Spark looking for that rip there. Now it's going for the breakout. Let's see if it happens. There's a good looking trade there on that 1370 pullback. Would be up about 16 cents. Q's right on the low though. So it could still take another low here. Another move down could happen on the Q's here. So you see the Q's going down there. So is the SPY, and a lot of things dropping fast. All right, getting that next action here, and now it's just going to be more that the Q's breakdown continues. It went for the 504 again here. So I'm just watching the action, but definitely we're getting some more downside action here. It's slowed down. It has slowed down, but you can always get another ramp up period, right? And so right now I'm just looking at the trend lines as they keep coming down on the Qs, and it every single time it comes back to the trend line, it rejects it. So I need to see that actually go above that and hold it. So the Qs just keep rejecting every time it wants to bounce back, and that's not a good outlook there. So you can see it faded off the VWAP, and every single time it's come back up in here into this area, you are just getting rejections, rejections, rejections. So it looks pretty heavy there. Looks like more downside action wants in. Apple could go red here, even though it's been such a good name. It could go red now with the Qs the way they're looking like. XRT starting to get a little bit of a lift there. I'm watching the XRT to see if it can push here. I think we could get one more downside shake, and then finally it starts to reverse, but I'm not going to jump too much on this downside shake. Could go longing the VIX right now, but it just seems to me like the Qs are slowing down, and they're trying to add in the size needed to make it start to come back. But of course, we all know this could just be a red day, and look at the hourly on the charts. The charts overall seem like we're coming on a bigger pullback here on the Qs. Not something I wanted to see, but something I am seeing, right? Tough to trust strategies when it's choppy like that. Yeah, definitely. Great info this morning. Signing off. Hey, Weird Life Solution. Have a good one, man. It was good to see you. A lot of traders stay in first hour. I like to trade after that first hour a lot. So now is when trends have a tendency of getting confirmed, and we can look to see what happens there. Downside coming in the Qs still. We'll look to see if it turns around. VIX starting to come back towards 44s. Man, the trade was Best Buy, man. Look at Best Buy off that 89 now towards 89.60s. So even though it had that ugly outlook, look at Best Buy today. Big push up there. This is why you can't listen too much about fundamentals when story is running the show. Seeing a big push in Bitcoin today, even though the Qs are coming down and we're seeing this downside action. There's the VIX going for another little breakout there as the Qs go down further, and a quick wash out there, guys, for the Qs. We'll look to see if it comes back, but that is ugly, ugly, ugly on that turn there. Clean Spark coming right back down with that action. Bitto was making a nice little push to the upside, yet these stocks were coming back down. It's a tough one out there today, guys. Cypher coming back down from the 585s. How's your quantum plays? They are now starting to break a little bit there. So that's something to think about, right? QMCO, though, is starting to come back here on the upside. We'll see what happens on that one. Can it really kind of catch a little bit of some love? We'll see it. See it. It is pushing right now is that QMCO. QUBT back to 7, could push right back off of that 7. It's been an interesting play. Lulu still hanging on a little bit by a thread is Lulu. Could still be in the name, right? But it just got out. Took that 136 loss, but it kept me in the green. All right, Shop breaking down right now. Shop breaking down. That doesn't make me feel confident about the market. That tells me to watch out for Amazon on the downside here. ANF it's a lot higher than when I got out of it, so it did catch me on that downside there. These names can all start trying to come back now after a lot of these traders kind of give up. And then all of a sudden, we can get a spike here. ANF looking a lot better here. I'm going to start taking some bets in some of these retailers, guys. I just feel like they could still make the nice little move here. Got to risk like $100, $200, maybe $300 today, but not a bad time to start taking a little bit of some bets. I'm taking the bets back to the upside just based on the fact that I think we could finally start to turn back, but we haven't today. It's been an ugly, ugly open today. Looking around, guys, trying to see some action that starts to come back here. Healthcare is up. Some defensive names are up today. So those are areas that we could look to see if we find some strength there. Let's see some healthcare names. Healthcare plan doing well. Medical distribution doing well. Not much there. All right, looking around A&F now, starting to get a little bit more of that jump, guys. So it's going to have to step up to the plate now. All right, starting to see a little bit of some turn here. Coming back in the Qs a little bit. All right, I like it there. We're starting to get a little bit of some move back here. All right, guys, taking my shot here. I'm taking a little bit of A&F. I'm going to go for some Lulu also here because it's on the lows. So that gives me a nice little entry here for Lulu, and we'll see if it works out, right? I think risking $100 on these is not a bad idea. Just took there 100 of each. Now I need to risk about $100 of each of these and look to see if I can get that push. Clean Spark is one that I also want to take a little bet on to see if it just takes a little bit of a run. But I'm going to go for a little bit smaller trade here and see what happens there, right? So I'll go for a smaller trade, maybe risk like 30, $40 on this one, see if Clean Spark can make a nice little move here. So what I'm really looking for is to hold the low now. 660s is would be the out. So I like this look here, especially as it's on the 70s and starts to come back. All right, there it is. I'll go ahead and I'll take a little bit there, 200 shares there. If it starts to really rip, I can always add. I'm looking for not a big win on Clean Spark. I would rather have my big wins on Lulu and A&F right now. Those seem to make more sense to me, but I definitely wanted to not miss this trade. I could add another 200 if it starts to get to the 1380s. So let's see if it starts to get a little bit of a spike there. Looks good here. I'm going to go for it. I'll just add towards 400. Keep it managed, and that's what matters, right? So right now I'm risking about $70. I'm risking on the low right now in the Clean Spark action. If it comes back to that, I want out anyways. Now they're all three in the green, need to manage, right? So whatever goes in the red, go focus on that. That's what I need to focus. All right, $100 of risk would be towards 149 on A&F. So I'm watching that 149. It looks decent here. Just need to see the Qs start really coming back and the SPY start working its way back. So SPY could still work its way back. SPY is more important to me than the Qs today. I still think technology is down the most, so that's okay that it lags. But the SPY will probably lead here. So I'll watch the SPY to see if it comes back. VIX short is also an opportunity here. So you saw that breakdown right back. So that was also an opportunity of just shorting the VIX there, but didn't get after that. Tried to go after the trades that I was in already. Lulu, we'll see if this can make another little push there. I went with 100 shares of Lulu this time, and I talked about how I could go after that with that type of sizing. Now that I got out of the position and can get back into the position, right? A&F, really want to see the XRT start to make the jump, and that's what I'm starting to get here. Now the only question is, will it actually make the move? It can go all the way from 83.12s all the way back up there towards 83, 80s, maybe 84 by the end of the day. So you're looking at a potential move about 80 cents, 70 cents higher. So that's not a bad move there, and a risk down there towards about 15 cents. So nice risk to return there on these names. We'll look to see what happens. Now watching A&F pull back a little bit there. Got to be a little bit careful that it does go back to that 149. But I'm watching the action here and looking to see if the Qs can continue to rise back. And that's exactly what I'm getting. Now the Qs are approaching that trend line, right? And I want to see this get through that trend line and start working its way back to the VWAP. SPY overall now to 599.55. So finally started to bounce there and start to work its way back. Clean Spark, let's go for it. Clean Spark, let's go for the rip. Let's go for the rip out now. Looks good for Clean Spark to go for that move now. The only question is, will it make the breakout here? It has all the potential here. It shouldn't really break this kind of even 369, 368 spot. Should get back here towards that 1390s and break out above the 14s. At least that's what the setup gives me. We'll see what happens. All right, looking around, the XRT still trying to balance out there. It just pulled back a significant amount there, so not the best thing to see. Little bit choppy. All right, Q still battling here. Clean Spark still battling. A lot of this is just more based on what's going on there. The Qs came back up and the SPY came back up, but then it just failed. So as much as it wanted to come back up, it failed quickly. So the SPY starts to fail. That's going to be the concern there. I wanted to hold the 90 MAs here. If not, I might need to just start getting out on some positions. VXX getting a little bit of a spike there. Could go long this and try to balance out, right? So if it comes back down, could still make me some cash. But playing that game is very hard. I will tell you guys. I did it earlier, and it was difficult to manage all three. Lulu coming down fast on me and ANF coming down fast on me. It was right off of that 149 now. So looking to see if I can at least get kind of like an inverse head and shoulders to hold. Wouldn't want it to go through that 148.50s. That's going to be very dangerous there. If it starts to cut that, that's 148. So just trying to keep things in perspective right now. All right, ANF right back towards my entry as it bounced off that 149. Makes me feel a little bit better there. Clean Spark just chomping around the 1360s. I think it's probably going to cut me out there. Could cut me out and still come back. I just don't want it to. I don't want to hold through the next low, right? So that's the big thing. It can make a higher low here around 1360s and start to work its way back. Back down into the 50s, and I'll just get out. Q's pulling back there. Still weak, man. Still weak. The SPY still kind of weak there. ANF back into the green, about to just go ahead and say, hey, maybe manage that, but let's just focus here. Lulu pulling back towards that 1380s. It's just a battle. It's a battle back and forth right now. The Qs, though, came right back down, about to stop me out on Clean Spark as the Qs came down fast there. And they were starting to work its way back. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. So down 43 now. The VIX starting to get a little bit of a spike there. We could still see some more weakness come into the market here. So I'm just waiting to see what plays out on the 5-minute. We got back up towards the trend line, and then we rejected it. If we could get back above the trend line, it would look great there. Clean Spark. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. Maybe risked a little too much. Could have risked like 30 bucks on it. That's what I was risking with the 200. Added 200 more. So be it. Down 43. That's nothing. Just got to keep battling here and seeing what happens with the overall market. That's what's going to be determining the action here. So watching on the kind of the 15 minutes to see if this can start to bounce back, get back above this 599.20s. If not, it could take out that low there, and then we're just collapsing and jumping on the VIX. VIX starting to get the spike here, so starting to consider the VIX there because it's still an opportunity if the Qs just continue to drop and the VIX continues to spike. Still seeing the XRT still look decent there. So just trying to battle in and wait for the move here versus trying to jump in on too many trades. We'll see what happens. Can we get the bounce back? If we do get the bounce back, we could easily get into the green there with ANF and Lulu. So just try to be patient here, trying to stay to my risk, right? Maybe I lose another 200 and I'm down 243 on the day. I'm okay with that. Got to understand where you are, what's the risk, what's the return, and how. If we do go into the green, we'll be up a decent amount, right? Maybe $400, $600 here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see if the market could come back. Clean Spark is coming back a little bit there. I'm not playing Clean Spark again, though. I've done that plenty of times. At this point, Clean Spark is a no touch for me unless it starts to rip through the 14s. Mara just takes off, things like that. But I'm not touching that one again. I'm really just watching here to see if ANF can take off above the VWAP. That's going to be a good sign for Lulu to start playing catch up, and the XRT to make it a little bit of a spike back towards the VWAP, which is 83.50s. If it goes to 83s and undercuts that 83s, we're probably going for another leg lower, and you got to be careful with that wash. Qs are looking like it wants to go for that wash, so you got to be careful here on both sides. The VIX now 14.14, so not playing this might have been a bad move as it was down to 43.75. Could have hedged my battle again on this trades. And I think that's one thing that I'm going to be looking more and more about, like trying to hedge with the VIX there. But interesting trade there. We'll see if the VIX goes higher through the high that it just recently went to, which was 44.17. SPY still dragging, the Q's still dragging, but still haven't broken through the low. So watching to see if it can recover from that low action. So 599 would be the recovery here on SPY, and then it comes back through 599.50. So come back to that 599.50s and we're looking a lot better. Lulu will look to see if it recovers 319. If it recovers 319, I could take an ad on that, risk off the 318s, but I need ANF deeper into the green if I want to do that, right? So if ANF can just jump here to 152, yeah, I can think about it, right? Because I have $200 in the green and I can add and take a little bit more risk. XRT is going to be a good outlook here as it starts to bottom out, and you can see the bottoming out here. And so this looks good as a support now. If it doesn't break this area, we're going to be looking good on the XRT starting to work its way back. And of course, we could play some other plays there. Could also look at the RTL, which is the retail bull action here, which is the kind of the same action that I could be trading here. So we'll see if we start to get a spike in the market here. I think it's something to watch. Let's go to the limited account, the smaller account. I still got a trade that I can make on there. I haven't made a single trade on there. I've been looking at some of these smaller plays, even UMAC, right? UMAC is starting to get hot again here. So it could go for that 11 break here and then go out for another like kind of rip out higher. I mean, so many people are watching this because of the Donald Trump mention. So we'll see what happens here. Up 1, up 2, up 3, down 3. It's holding pretty well on that first action here that it starts to reclaim the 9. So I'm just watching this one, guys. I haven't taken a trade. I'm just watching it. All right, so we've had 1, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. So just trying to play this out the right way here. Yeah, I see like kind of that ascending look here. Let's go to the 15-minute, stroll it back a little bit further. It's 11, so important here for UMAC. You can see how it's getting some volume too, and it's kind of propping here. It's just went off the 1050s. Thinking about taking a small shot here. Covering 11 there, guys. I'm taking a small shot here. Just grab some at 11.17s. Now I'm grabbing some here. In a second, I'm going to establish risk towards 1060, which is about 115 of risk. Oh, did I get that second fill all the way up at 11.15? That fill should have been a 1080 fill. Oh, come on. 1020 fill? That's a horrible fill there. That's on me. Bad execution on that point, guys. Should have definitely got that back there. Here's a nice little spike right back to the upside here. So the spread just spread out, though. Be careful. Spread just went wide there, guys. Coming back on me now. The market's coming down a little bit there. I'm watching the market still, guys. I got to continue to watch that. Lulu's putting in a little bit of some bottoming, and so is A&F, but they still haven't really pushed up. So spread on this thing is crazy on UMAC. What happened there, I think, is the big thing is for me is if I would have got the 80 buy there, the level, at least the average right now would be 11. That's where I want to be closer to. So I'm a little bit caught at the top here. Definitely chase the second. Slower volume into this move doesn't make me feel good here, but I'm just looking for a recovery back through that 11. Might not get it here, and it could still come back down to 10. So you got to understand that. Really got to recover this 78, get through this 1098. Then you can attempt to go to 1150s. I like that undercut look. Now it's getting washed, though. That's a undercut wash kind of look there. Be careful. Be careful out there, traders. Tried to trigger some stops there at the 1050s. That's what it seems like to me. This one's a very hard trade here. Let's see if it can start to work its way back above the 1070s. Going to trigger some more stops here at 50s. Triggered. And now we need to see that recovery really quickly come back above the 1070s, 1060s. All right, guys, it's 10:58 here. I'm going to start to wrap up here, recap here. Like always, traders, smash the like. And I hope you guys really take a second, guys, to understand what a great opportunity we have here every single day, guys. So I do want to take a second there, like always, guys, to wish you guys great Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you guys out there, really, like always, guys, that are with us every single day, battling with us. It's not an easy thing to trade. It's harder to even be in communities that, you know, really support you. So I hope that you guys are thankful for all the traders that come in this community that are trying to help each other and continue to grow. And like always, guys, Thanksgiving is all about being thanked. So I want to give a special shout out here to guys like Triple D, Christian Fromhertz, Joel Elkanen. Got to give a shout out to, of course, my man, Jay Woods. Got to give a shout out to so many traders that put it there before me, right? Shout out to John London from Beginner Trading, right? So many traders helped me get to where I am today. And I think it's so important to try to find traders that can help you get to the next level. Shout out to my man, Michael Nas, CMT. Shout out to all the CMTs out there. And I'm going to continue pushing forward, guys. And I hope that you guys are excited to see what we can come up with, right? Like always, it's not going to be easy here, and took my eyes off that UMAC. Probably not the best thing there. But right now, definitely down big here on UMAC. Got to go ahead and manage it here. If not, I'm going to get cut out on UMAC. But hey, it is what it is. I might go for a little bit of an ad here. That's the only way to kind of balance in. And right there, just got cut out. So just got cut out there of UMAC. It is what it is, guys. Took like a 246 hit. Too big of a hit there on UMAC. Wasn't paying attention. My fault there. So the focus was really good there. Lost it right there on the smaller account. Let's go back to the main account there and see what's going on there. The limited account down 40 on Lulu, down 40 on A&F. The Q's still struggling, guys. We're still struggling to come back here. We could still see some more downside. The SPY still showing red, still showing bleeding out there. Be careful out there, guys. VIX is up there, could spike here. I honestly, I'm like back and forth on how to hold these or not. The trade still set up, could come right back as the XRT. We'll see what happens here. Clean spark. We'll see what happens on that one. That other limited account, just to kind of put it in perspective too, just back and forth on that one. I've gotten really, really close on that limited account, but we'll see what happens on that one. Right now, on that one, let's pull it up here. I am down $23. So this morning I started it up like about 300, right back down. So back and forth on that one, guys. It's very difficult to kind of nail those. UMAC, probably pushed it on that one. Should have definitely got out a little bit earlier and maybe not taking a moment there to wrap up the show, but it is what it is. It's all good. Back down to 10.25, could come right back there towards 11 later in the day. Q's and the SPY making another down action move here, guys. So not looking good there as it starts to wash out on some of this trade. Needs to come back there, guys, because if not, it's going to cut me out of my other trade. Let me go focus in on that. Don't want to get caught there. Let's go to it here. This is that A&F and Lulu. Down 45 on Lulu, down A&F there. Need to see the SPY start to bounce because it's not looking good on that trade. If the XRT breaks that low, that's when I got to go. That's when I know if the XRT breaks this area, it's going to tell me that, yeah, you might want to just let it go, Mitch. XRT is not coming back today. We'll see what happens. The trade could still come back. We'll see what happens. SPY bouncing a little bit there. Lulu, A&F. I feel like I got some good entries here. Just got to hold on to the levels that I'm willing to risk right now. And that's the important thing here. And if you show your hands too early, you get wiped out. All right, guys, but that's going to do it for me. Not a bad trade overall, not a bad day overall. Just can continue to battle. I hope you guys have a good one. Smash the like, guys. We'll be back, of course, on Friday. And don't forget your Black Friday deal, super buying power. That's what I'm going for right now on that account. I'm up balance-wise overall 868. Projected balance at 765 was up earlier today, about $60. Lost a little bit there on that clean spark. Was back and forth today, guys. You guys can see it here. Lost on some names one-on-one, right? But that one name, what did it do? It covered all the other losses, and I'm only down 43. That's what I like to do in managing my risk to reward, and that's the most important thing I can tell you guys about trading is understanding that you got to be able to balance your risk and return so that you can take trades like that where one trade bounces you back, right? 380s on the upside on that VIX trade, and not a bad trade at all on that one. Could have still held a little bit more, but took the trade off and made sure that I had some profits to play with. Now let's see if A&F takes off here and really starts to grind higher. By the end of the day, I could have another $300, $400 winner, right? So we'll see what happens there in A&F today. Can it go back and take out the highs? good looking trades out there available. Let's see if the XRT trade starts to come back, and I'm seeing it right now start to work back. So I'm going to take a bet on this one too, right? There's no reason for me not to bet on this, as I do have good outlook here that could get it back up there towards the 84, right? So I could also short the XRT as a kind of a trade against my own trades here. But looks good there. We'll look to see if the XRT and some of these names really start to push. If I look at what's leading the action right now, in that Guess is ripping. Guess what? Guess is ripping. Well, that's what. Ulta with nice move there. Foot Locker now pulling back. Nike's been hot though. Let's see if Nike can continue there. 78s right now. Look to see if it gets to the 79 spot a little later. Crocs, the shoes with holes in them, not doing too bad there. The SPY still, though, weak, guys. Down to 598. Needs to find some bounce. We'll see what happens. XRT now right back down there. VIX jumping there, 44.23s and continuing to jump. If you still get some more downside, that's one way to protect yourself. Maybe playing some VIX to the upside. It's been a crazy day, guys. I'm out of here. Enjoy your holiday, guys. Like always, smash the like. We'll be back. We'll keep pushing, like always, right here on TTP Live.